Hey guys, alright, let's do some DVD reviews. We got 3 movies I want to review. We got Invictus, we got Valentine's Day, and we got The Book of Eli, which I just watched. The first one is Invictus. Now, the biggest problem with this movie is that hardly anything happens. And after finishing it, I wanted to give it a 3 out of 10, to be honest. But I took a step back and I realized on a technical level, the movie is very solid. It's got very strong acting from Morgan Freeman and Matt Damon. But the problem is that this movie should have been so much more. Why did they have to make... Nelson Mandela was not the main character of this movie. He was a cheerleader. He served nothing. He was... You could have taken him out of the movie and just made a story about the rugby team. Nelson Mandela is a great man. Why didn't they just make a biopic about his life instead of some sort of underdog sports movie? It doesn't make that much sense. Now, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You have Morgan Freeman, who's now the perfect chance here to win an Academy Award, and they throw it away by making a rugby movie? That really got me mad, because this movie should have been top 5 of last year, and it wasn't, because they didn't do what they could have done, and they didn't have Morgan Freeman as the center of it. So I gotta give it a 5 out of 10, but it really did upset me that how good this movie could have been, and it's obvious. The worst part about this movie is the direction by Clint Eastwood. He did not care about this project. I don't care what anybody says. This movie was boring. Next up, Valentine's Day. I didn't watch this entire movie. About an hour. This movie is 2 hours long. And about an hour and 30 minutes in, I just turned it off because I could not take it. This movie is marketed as a happy, yay, it's Valentine's Day movie, yeah. This is one of the most depressing, cynical movies I have ever seen. There is not one happy relationship, and every relationship that does seem happy ends up either having somebody cheating, somebody getting caught naked in a bed, or something terrible happening to somebody. If for a title like Valentine's Day, it should imply happiness, love, romance. This movie implies sadness, anger, suicide. I mean, this is really not a happy movie, and with all the stars that they had, this movie is terrible. Really, I mean, there was one relationship that I thought was pretty well done, and that was with Emma Roberts and Carter Jenkins, but besides that, every other relationship, half of them didn't even have to be in the movie. Why does this movie even exist? Who saw this script and went, we can make a movie out of this, but put a bunch of big stars in it? There was no reason to have half the people that were in this movie. This was a terrible, terrible movie. Again, another lock for my bottom 10. We have this, Nightmare on Elm Street, Night and Day, Robin Hood, I don't know, others, as, definitely locks for my bottom 10 list. Really too bad, because this movie could have been so much more. And it just failed on every level, but it was the script that really hurt it. This was a terrible script. I mean, you could have put the greatest actors of all time in this movie. They would not have done a good job. Alright, my last one is Book of Eli. Now, the first half of this movie, I said, I am loving this movie more than any other movie I have seen almost all year. It's probably my 3rd favorite movie of the year in the first half. I said, this is a 10 out of 10 so far. And then it slides a little bit, but you're still with it. And I'm like, okay, this is a 9 out of 10 probably. And then the last 10 minutes, last 10, 15 minutes just drops big time. Totally drops the ball. Because, look, I'm a Catholic, and even I hated the Christian undertones in this movie. And you look at it from a certain point of view, though I can see why people like it, it don't make any goddamn sense, the crap that they do at the end of this movie. I am sorry. But you look at it, and you realize, watch it back again, and remember what they say at the end. It does not add up at all. And I wanted to love this movie because Gary Oldman is great. Denzel was incredible. Even Mila Kunis did a really good job. What the hell were they thinking with that ending? This could have been one of the greatest post-apocalyptic movies of all time. And it was for the first half. But it's when somebody, I don't know who it was, Reverend Jesse Jackson came in there and said, no, we have to make this a Catholic movie. If it weren't for that, this thing could have been a classic, and it's obvious why they released this in January, because had this have been released in the summer, it would have been torched. And I wanted to love this movie so much because the first half is incredible, absolutely fantastic stuff. But then I couldn't help but just feel a lot of anger toward it at the end for what they pulled. Terrible, terrible ending to this movie. The more I talk about it, the angrier I get. It was probably a 9 going into the last 10-15 minutes, but it drops all the way to a 6 just because of the crap that they pulled, and I wanted to love it. I thought it really... This is from the Hughes brothers, who directed Menace to Society. Never heard of it, never seen it, don't know. But, it's obvious that they have a visual style, and I don't know if they wrote it, I don't think they did, but I think that I wish somebody else would have directed this, because somebody with more power, like a Spielberg, or the Coen brothers, somebody who kind of directs these dark, bleak movies, or even the guy who directed 3:10 to Yuma, James Mangold, who directed Night and Day, we'll just forget him, who has been around the business and could have said, look, we gotta change this ending around because this is bad. 6 out of 10, really a disappointment, so not good. I mean, we got 2, I think I gave Valentine's Day a 3, and I gave Invictus a 5, and I gave this a 6. Not good. I mean, it's too bad, because all 3 of these movies had potential. Well, Valentine's Day didn't, but 2 of these movies had great potential. Just drop the ball. I'll see you guys later.